Up next on CSMTV Channel 98, it's the Hawks Preview Show. Join Sean Cook and Josh Harris as they interview the team, the coaches, and break down what it will take for the team to return to the playoffs. That's next on CSMTV Channel 98, the home of the Hawks. You're watching CSMTV, the College of Southern Maryland, and the home of the Hawks. The following is a presentation of CSMTV Sports, one of the leaders in collegiate television.
Okay, the deal is that they make the playoffs 2 years in a row. No, they have to make it this year. That was the deal. That's why you got the suitcase full of money, because they're making. I don't care what you have to do with the other team. It's important that they make the play. Is it?
We're on TV.
It's on. Yeah, I gotta call you back. Okay.
Here we go.
All right.
Ready?
Oh.
3.
I believe it's wrong man. Fires the ball to Williams. Williams back out to Greg. Greg with the shot and good. And the shot. The wrong man. Sweet string music. The three-pointer. Williams back out to Greg. Greg with the shot and good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just working out some final details there of some show production.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what that was.
We're all ready to go.
And welcome to the preview show, the pregame, the preview, the Meet the Hawks, whatever you'd like to call it. Welcome to our house. This is the nest. This is where Sean has to sleep when he gets in trouble with his wife, and this is where I go when I want some alone time. Which doesn't really happen because I have 3 kids and he has 3 kids, so there's not really much, quasi alone time. But what we'd like to do tonight is introduce you to some Hawks. Some players you may not know. You just see them on the court and running back and forth, and maybe in a timeout you see them in a close-up shot, maybe the side of Coach Hoyt's head or something. But we're going to introduce you to some players and get you some interviews with them, as well as possibly an interview with assistant coach Tim Bowie.
Yes, behind the scenes, folks. You're going to get the inside stuff today. Also,
an extended version of Sean's cooking tips tonight, not only for just the game, like we usually do, but for the entire season.
Sizzling.
Almost like a preview. You cannot cook from the bathroom, ladies and gentlemen. You have got to cook in the kitchen, and who better to cook with than a cook? I mean, seriously. It's
my name.
It's Sean Cook, future mayor of La Plata, ladies and gentlemen.
Future mayor of La Plata.
If you have not read the csmd.edu/CSMTV website, you have missed out on something fantastic. This man right here. You know what? In fact, ladies and gentlemen, go log on your computers right now. We're going to send you a commercial. Go log on csmd.edu/CSMTV. Click on the interview section for Celebrity Corner. Read Sean Cook's interview, read my interview, and come back. We'll see you right after these messages on CSM Channel 98, the home of the Hawks.
We asked, and you responded.
Yes, I have questions. I am watching the TV, and I'm no longer seeing National Lampoon. This was very funny to me, and I liking it very much. So if you could bring it back, that would be great. I don't know if you listen to these things or not. I saw a couple of them were on the TV, but I really missed the National Lampoon. Please do bring it back. Thank you and have a good day.
We asked, and you responded.
I'm watching your Neon CSMTV DVD on TV. It's really cool how they go over each character.
We asked, and you responded.
Good morning. This is Puff, and I'm watching the program. I think it is absolutely marvelous. Something of that nature brought to light. It is so entertaining and so wonderful. So good luck to you in the future, and keep on programming. The bloodier, the ghoulier, the better. I love it. It is out of this universe. Remarkable. Bless you.
We asked, and you responded.
Oh my God, I think your CSMTV thing is so awesome. I just want to let you know I think it's great for our kids and our community to be able to participate and see ourselves on TV. So, thanks.
That's the CSMTV studios at 240-725-5458. Operators are standing by right now, so call now.
Hello, friends. I'm Sean Cook. As one half of the CSM's men's basketball announce team, along with Joshua Harris, we strive to bring the very best coverage of
Sweet string music.
Hawks basketball. Join us as I bring you my cooking tips, which are my 3 keys for a Hawks victory.
The hoop and the heart.
I hope your family will gather around the TV and watch our family as we bring you the very best in Maryland JUCO Conference.
The Hawks win! The Hawks win! The Hawks win!
Basketball. We both call the games a little different.
The Hawks win! The Hawks win! Shot and good! And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining us on this pregame Meet the Hawks show. Sean, let's just for just a second just briefly gloss over last year.
You really want to do that to me?
Well, I mean, I understand, ladies and gentlemen, last year Sean had an Achilles injury towards the end of the season, and we did have to work the entire season with Tim Murphy as the coordinator for athletics. Aside from that, though, some positives about the year. Hawks made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs at 4-23.
They backed in.
I would say they crawled in.
Well, there was actually they had assistance because there was a team that didn't quantify or qualify for the playoffs, and then there was another team that lost a game or a home game or they didn't have a bus or their tire was flat. But I don't know how that happened. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. He is not the great and powerful Oz. There's nothing to see here. But there were some positives from last year.
There were some positives from last year. I think it was a building year. Coach Hoyt, first-year coach.
Right.
First-year head coach.
Yep.
So he had to learn, and I think the players had to learn.
And a brand new staff, too. I mean, Tim Bowie is a second-year returning coach now for assistant coach, but he was just the first-year assistant coach last year. I mean, these guys, you guys read the interview. In the interview, it's not like, I said about, the TV production.
Right.
If you don't have you're not actually doing the production, it's like trying to drive a car with never sitting in the driver's seat.
Absolutely.
You can read books all day long about what you want. You can be coached by people, but unless you're actually out there coaching somebody, it's a completely different animal.
And well, I'll say this, that the players actually that Coach Hoyt had last year, some of them very good players, some of them not so good players, but he didn't recruit any of them. He got the job at the very last minute.
Right.
So
Right.
he came in and took over the class. It's like the substitute teacher, and you know what happens to them.
But I mean, there is some hope for this year. We have a lot of players coming back, and some brand new players. We have players from out of town. As you'll hear later on, we have some players that were recruited over the phone. They recruited themselves.
Hey.
We have some players that sent videotapes, and we have some players that knew some bad things about Coach Hoyt, I guess.
And they still came.
Yeah, they still showed up. What we'd like to do right now is show you to one of those interviews. I actually had a chance to talk to LaRon Mann earlier. LaRon Mann's a returning sophomore. He was the leading scorer last year. And this is what LaRon had to say. All right, LaRon, thanks for joining us today. Just the first question, how is this team different from last year's team?
This year we're more athletic, more dynamic, on the court. And we bring offense and defense this year, very much stronger than last year.
Speaking of offense and defense, which do you think you're better at? I mean, which is, your forte?
I would rather say defense. I believe defense wins games. I'm a defensive-minded player. I'd rather play defense before offense,
And you shoot 40% and averaging 2.9 assists per game. What do you feel like your role is on the team? Is it a defensive stopper or is it offensive spark plug? I mean,
basically just to be a leader. My role is to be a leader on the team, help out the young guys that are just coming in to the JUCO, help them out as much as I can.
Speaking of some of the young guys, who's the absolute worst on the road trip? Like, who's the guy you don't want to get stuck by on the van or on the bus?
I would have to say Coach Bowie.
Oh, wow. Throw Coach under the bus early. We're only 3 questions in, LaRon. I mean,
Coach Bowie, when he passes gas, he really passes gas, and it's the worst. I told him I was going to say this today also.
So you're boycotting any bus that doesn't have windows that go down with Coach Bowie.
Yeah, don't get on the bus if it don't have windows to go down, especially automatic.
Yeah, got to be quick. You can't wait for those windows to come down at all. Coach, what would you do differently if you were Coach Hoyt? Coach Hoyt, you're running this team. What do you think would be one or two improvements that you would make?
I guess more defensive-minded drills at practice, maybe. I believe defense wins games, so more defense and more defense. I think he's doing everything pretty well, though.
What would be the one drill that you hate at practice? What's the one drill that he has you guys run?
It's really not a drill, but when we have to run 64s, that's a double set of lines. That's the worst. That's the worst. In 64 seconds, last year we had to do it, and we really weren't accustomed to it at the beginning, but it's a little bit better now, but that's by far the worst drill.
Now, maybe you could have, Coach Tim run 64s after, he passes gas in the truck. Maybe that would be the way to go.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll go. It might be worse off.
Have you seen the games on CSMTV on Channel 98? Have you gotten a chance to watch them yet?
I seen one yesterday after practice. It was on the TV downstairs. So, yeah, I seen just that one.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, that was at the Christmas game?
That was the first game of the year, against Nova. That's the one I saw.
That's the one where you got hurt. Now, is his ankle all right? I mean, is ankle good?
Yeah, it's 100% now. After that game, took me about 2 weeks to recover. It was real tender, but now I'm fine against PG.
Because, Tim Murphy came up to us at halftime, and Tim's like, oh, it's fine. He's just going to change his shoe. He really didn't twist it. And, I said, Tim, I think he sprained it. He said, no, he's fine. He should be back in the game, in the next half. And, nope, on the bench. So, I mean, it's got to be hard for you to be on the bench, not in a cheerleader role, but, as a role to get the guys hyped up. But like you said, you're here to be a leader. So, that's an important thing. If you were playing basketball, what sport would you be playing?
What sport? I would have to say, I've grown a fond interest in soccer as being at this school, so I'll probably play soccer here if I would play another sport.
It helps that they win almost everything here in soccer. I mean, that's a good recruiting thing. Like, what did you guys do last year? We won everything. That's what we did. One last question, man. When you come down, do you think your pass or shoot first?
This year, pass first. I'll be a pass first before I shoot. I like to get my team involved, so I believe everybody on my team can hit an open jump shot, so I would definitely pass first.
And if you could say one thing to the basketball fan at home that's watching the show about, why they should come down and see you guys live, what would that be?
We're number one. We give you a show. We got a lot of athletic people on the team. We play defense, and we give it 100% every game.
And I mean, they'll be far away from Tim Bowie, so I mean, he's down on the floor, so
he still might get him from all the way down there. So you got to beware.
And so that's what LeBron had to say, about almost everything. And the thing that kind of confused me the most was, about Tim Bowie. I mean, yeah,
Timmy,
we're all the way up here, folks. So we have no bearing on that. We cannot say whether or not his lovely wife is in trouble or she should be okay. I mean, he's way down there, we're way up here on the top level. You'd know that if you came to the games.
Hey, what happens on the bus stays on the bus.
It's like Las Vegas. It's the Las Vegas bus. Some interesting points that LeBron did have, though.
Yes.
He prefers man over zone defense. I know you're a big proponent of the zone defense. Last year, you spoke often about how maybe a boxing one would help shut down an offensive weapon from the other team.
Yeah, I do. I still feel that we need to be as a team a little more versatile. And I think man-to-man is ego thing with players. They believe that as long as they can stop that other guy, they're a man.
Right.
But this is a team that's got to play team defense this year, and it shows just in listening to LeBron that he's trying to take a leadership role with the team. He wants the team to play together, and so.
Well, and he actually said that. He said that his role right now is not as an offensive weapon, not as a defensive stopper, but as a mentor. And he's trying to mentor, on and off the court. And he actually said that, it wasn't as hard for him like he would have thought it would have been when he hurt the ankle in the first game that we did, because he could sit on the court and he could give advice about what the guys should do when they went back out on the court and things of that nature.
Well, I think what you're seeing in LeBron Man is what this team has that's made the difference so far this season, and that's confidence.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of confidence in his bench. They're actual players, and we witnessed in the last game that we did that the bench was able to carry the team through a difficult time and actually take the lead in a game, and it's part of what he's doing.
Sean,
yeah,
they were down 15 points. They give it up. It was like at one point it was 20-5.
Yeah.
And we came back and tied the game, I think, at 57-57. Ended up losing the game, but I don't watch the end of the game. I just, I mean,
You only do the play-by-play.
I mean, play-by-play, some commercials, some volleyball, some baseball. I mean, just what you need me to do. What we need to do right now is go to commercial.
All right.
So we're actually going to go to commercial, and then we'll come back with, you talked to Byron Morgan?
I talked to Byron Morgan.
Going to go to commercial. We'll come back with an interview with Byron Morgan here on CSMTV, Channel 98, the home of the Hawks.
We asked, and you responded.
Dude, you guys rock so much, man. I watch it every night, dude. That monster is so scary. I love it. I love it so much. I love it.
We asked, and you responded.
Yeah, I was just watching your In Neon show. It's really good. I'm pretty amazed that college students put this together. And it's exciting. It's well written, well directed. I've worked in television a little bit myself in the D.C. area, and I am just amazed at how well that show is put together. And I'm actually looking forward to each episode to see what happens next. It's really well done. Thank you.
We asked, and you responded.
Yes, I'm calling to leave a message about some of your programming, particularly two student productions, one called Fabulous and the other called The Easy Buck. I think it's great that you're giving students an opportunity to learn how to do film. And you know what? Both those productions came out really well. They look great. And I'm thankful you at CSMTV afford the student grow and learn. So keep up the good work, and I look forward to more fine productions like Fabulous and The Easy Buck. Thank you.
That's the CSMTV studios at 240-725-5458. Operators are standing by right now, so call now.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
They're kind of cool.
Not really. Pretty annoying.
How'd you get them?
Shooting windows out with my BB gun, and next day these showed up.
I think it's bad karma. You gotta do something good. Help out in the community. Donate to charity.
Just been real busy, Yeah.
Stay on the universe's good side. Volunteer, vote, get involved.
Back out to Gray. Gray with a shot, and good! And welcome back to the Hawks Preview Show. Sean, before the break, we teased going to Byron Morgan.
Yes.
Now, you spoke to Byron Morgan earlier. You want to set that up for us?
Absolutely. I had an opportunity to speak with Byron Morgan today. He is a returning sophomore to the CSM Hawk basketball team, and he came off of a tremendous injury last year, separated shoulder.
Did you ask him if he's going to play more than 7 games this year?
He plans on playing more than 7 games, and we hope definitely that he's back for more than 7 games. He was an outstanding contributor. In fact, left with some incredible stats before he got hurt.
He did. Through 7 games, he averaging 20-some points and things of that nature, and high on the list in assists. Even after the season was over, even after more players had played more games.
So he still had higher averages than everybody else.
Yep.
Well, let's not keep the people waiting. Let's get out. Let's see what Byron Morgan had to say on our interview early today. All right, here we are. Second-year player, Byron Morgan, coming in off an injured shoulder last year. Missed a good part of the season, but he's back. What's the main thing you can do this year to be a leader on this team?
The first thing is to be vocal. First of all, show enthusiasm towards the team, and hopefully it'll bleed upon the other teammates.
Okay, I understand the team this year has a theme, has T-shirts dedicated to sacrifice. What does that mean to you as a player here on College of Southern Maryland?
Sacrifice meaning to me is showing that it's not about you, it's about the team effort and overall about winning. That's the main thing.
Okay, all about winning, and now you're back, and I know we kind of witnessed the injury last year. We watched you walk tilted off the court, and now you're back. How's that feel? How's the shoulder feel when it happened, and what's the difference now? How's it feel now?
When it happened, it's horrible. But now it feels a lot better. I don't have any pain. And it feels great to be back out there trying to win games with my teammates, so it's great.
All right, shoulders back, Byron's back. Now, I understand Coach Hoyt has turned up things a little bit this season. And so what would you say is Coach Hoyt's toughest drill that he makes you guys run?
It'd probably be pressure lane passing. You have to get the ball towards half court without dribbling. And the defenders get to be all in your face, so it's really hard. It's really hard.
Okay, so talking about playing under pressure, what is the one thing that you like best playing? Would you call yourself an offensive player, defensive player? Where's your forte?
Right now, I would like to call myself a defensive player, and I hope everybody else on the team would like to say defensive player because defense wins games. But everybody likes to score, you know that. So I would first say defensive player.
All right, now this team is going to get on the road a little bit. I know you get a little crazy, you get on the road. Talk to me about who you think is the toughest person to travel with.
I have to say Jared Blake. He is the worst. I mean, he's 5'6", but he makes everybody laugh every 10 seconds, so it's crazy. It's definitely crazy.
All right, folks, that's it. I'm here with Byron Morgan, second-year player coming back, put into work for CSM Hawks TV, Channel 98. You know, one of the things that I like about what Byron said is communication. And I think that's what was lacking on this team last year. There was a loss of communication, and that hurt us.
I think you found a kindred soul. I mean, you know, he had the whole communication angle. You know, he has to work with a jokester. You know, and like you were telling me, in Jared Blake, you know, you have to work with a jokester. I don't know who that would be, but. And you know, as the next mayor of the plate, I mean, that must have been, you know, impressive to you that, you know, you could find a kindred spirit in that. What else do you think was good about the interview with Byron Moore?
I tell you, the one thing that I really liked about what Byron talked about, because I asked him about his personal strength or his personal capabilities, and he really leaned on defense. You know, defense is really what he's after. You know, everybody likes to score, but he really he talked about defense, and then he alluded to the team, and I hope that's what everybody else on the team says as well. So I think he's really interested in this team together playing defense. I did ask, and you saw, about the theme of this year, our T-shirted theme of sacrifice.
Right, the T-shirts that we can't get because, you know, they don't have any more.
And how does that happen? How does that happen?
We put you guys on TV. We talk you guys up. We wear the gold. We wear the black. We talk about CCCC when it was back like then. I mean, he even got his son to be on the team last year, but no T-shirts?
No T-shirts.
Okay, you talked about the T-shirts. Interesting.
Anyway, so these guys are to this year much more united. And again, I'll tell you, it's really attributed to the fact that Coach Hoyt had a chance to put this team together. And so there seems to be a cohesive mindset, and that mindset apparently, and we'll hear later when we get a chance to talk to Coach Hoyt, hopefully, about that team defense, because I think that's what they're after.
And actually, later on in this show, we're going to show you, you know, we're much like the website. We show you shows, but we're also going to give you some interviews from some new players that came in. And one of the new players actually telling me he called Coach Hoyt and actually, you know, basically talked himself onto the team.
Wow, initiative.
So we'll look at that later. You get to see that later, and also, you know, more team defense, you know, more of the motion offense, more of the guys seeming like you're saying, they're not only communicating, but they're right on the same page. I mean, these guys are, you know, they're going to be together, you know, on the court and off the court, you know, except for Tim, who has to, you know, walk behind the bus, I guess, when they go places. Cooking points for the game. What do you think for not for the game, for the whole year?
For the whole year,
I think is
right. So there's
what's good. What's
all of these are going to begin with S. These are the S's for success for this team in this new season. And I think the number one point that you should notice about the Hawks this year is that size does matter.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, last year we played, you know, a 4-guard, one big forward in the middle offense. I mean, seriously, we had, towards the end of the year, we had one big guy, and that was it.
Maybe one player over 6'2" or 6'3". This is a different kind of team. There are multiple players that are in the 6'2", 6'4", 6'6" even size, and so size does matter, and I think that's going to make a difference for this team, particularly on the inside on the boards, where last year they were cremated pretty much game after game.
Well, in the playoffs, Sean, we got beat by Chesapeake. How many players did Chesapeake have? They had 8 players?
Yeah.
You put 5 players on the court. You have 3 additional players that you can sub in and out, and they beat us. They had the size. They were at home. I mean, there were a lot of factors that went into that win, but I think that one of them had to be, the lack of fundamentals and the lack of size on our team.
Yeah, and so size I think is number one. That's going to help us out this year. The second one is the one that the coach has actually chosen for the team theme, which is sacrifice. I believe that this year we have a team that is willing to sacrifice, and that means that the selfishness, and we saw a lot of it last year. I mean, just be honest, we're on TV. Yeah, we saw a lot of it last year where players would just go out for their own, whereas this year I think that there's a level of confidence in the players that are on the bench, because we have such a deep bench, and so size that matters there too.
And more players.
We
definitely have more players.
A deep bench, more players, more active, capable players who can come in when the starters are tired and can not lose any ground for this team.
Right. You got another one? I mean,
seasoning.
I'm keeping asking you till you run out.
Okay, well, the third S is seasoning. Seasoning meaning I think that this team has some experience under its belt, and experience has the greatest impact on what you believe, and I really believe that these players have had some experience playing together. They look like there's much more camaraderie among the team, and Byron even alluded to it in his interview about some of the new players who are adding to.
As did LaRon, because LaRon was talking about the one difference between this team and the team last year is that they're taller, they're bigger, they have more confidence. And he said some of the same things that you said. So another S could be sophomores as well.
Sophomores.
The sophomores, they have to find their place. They have to find out what their position is, what their role is, and they have to step up into that role, and they have to make that that not only that role but this team their own.
Right. And so when I say seasoning, I'm not just talking about the players. I'm talking about Coach Hoyt.
Right.
He's got a year under his belt. A year last year where we would yell timeout, timeout.
Even in the first game.
Right.
I was amazed. The man took a full timeout. We were down, and there's two schools of thought. The first school of thought is you let your players work themselves out of the hole that they put themselves in.
Right.
I mean, there are many great coaches like Phil Jackson that have done that before, where like a team would go down 15 points and you let them work themselves out.
Right.
But there's also another mindset that says you call a timeout, you get the guys set back up, and you make sure that everything can be the way it has to be.
Well,
I'm the bleeding.
I'm going to talk to Coach Hoyt about this later, but when you have these new players that have come in, these are B-level, C-level players who may not have the right level of confidence. Sometimes you have to stop the game to kind of get their attention and to see. Make sure that they know where they're going and use those timeouts strategically to keep the team in the game. And because we have such a good bench, because we have such great size, because we have these players that have his mentality or his method because he recruited them, I think he can now, know when to stop the game. Probably last year he had to use timeouts probably more frequently. This year, I think that as the season goes along, he'll let them play through their mistakes.
Now, a question that I asked the players that I spoke to, and I think that you asked Byron Morgan as well. What's the one thing when you were playing? I mean, you're obviously Sean, little modest, but Sean does play a little bit. Doesn't have quite the handle that I have. But you guys don't know this, but earlier I was out on the floor. I was dunking with Brandon Jarman. He was doing all the dunking, but we were out on the court while there was dunking going on.
I'm going to step back because I know lightning is about to hit.
Like thunder. What was the one thing that you hated in practice? What was the one drill that you were just like, yeah, not for me?
We call them suicides.
Okay.
These days they have different terms for what they do now.
There's like line touches when you're from one end to the other.
Yeah, and you had to do it in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, LaRon talked about those with 64s. That's what they're calling them, 64s. I think back when you were doing it, they had like the sundial, so they could just when the arm of the sundial moved over here, Moses would declare the drill to be over, and then Sean could go home, from practice.
Yes.
Read the website, boys and girls. It all makes sense. Speaking of making sense, what we're going to do right now, make some dollars and cents, send it to a commercial break. We come right back. We're going to have some interviews with some new players, as well as continued outlook for this team into the next year. Here on CSM Channel 98, the home of the Hawks.
And now that you've watched in Neon, it's time for our own version of DVD on TV.
For the next hour or so, we're going to take you behind the scenes of episode 4.
Showed the limo
of
scene
the series
with the limo, and we shot an alternate scene for that.
And the funny thing is, you're not even driving the car. You're driving it here in the close-ups, right? But here, that's not even you. That was a stunt man. A lot of this is all camera trickery, and
it's CSMTV's own version of DVD on TV.
I died when I saw this. This was funny. Is that dog still alive?
You know what the funny thing is? That was not even a dog. That was a stuffed gorilla that we found at a Walmart.
First, watch the college soap opera in neon. Then immediately when it's over, listen to our exclusive commentary track with series creator Erik Sprowls and a different cast member each week on how the series was put together.
I bet this would have to be scary. I don't know if I necessarily would stand in front of a train while it was coming.
Right? There. They weren't on the train tracks. They were about 20 feet on this side of the tracks. We shot it with a long-angle lens.
If you're an aspiring student filmmaker, this might be your chance to get some tips from Emmy-nominated director Erik Sprowls and see how in neon won a dozen coveted awards.
But we had nature on our side this night because we'd have flurries once in a while and we'd try to get some good shots with it.
You're an idiot.
A funny story about this was my aunt and I were in Walmart. 3 guys come up to me and they're like, "You're that stripper chick."
On the neon.
Like, the one guy looks at me and he looks at me up and down and he goes, "You're hot." And the other kid looked at me and he goes, "I'd you." Right in front of my aunt. And I'm like,
You didn't tell me that.
It was just like, it was just like this whole ordeal.
That's In Neon DVD on TV. We asked, and you responded.
Hi, I'm a viewer calling about the movie Fabulous. I just wanted to say that it's one of the best student movies I've ever seen. Just endless jokes and countless moments of entertainment that I could watch over and over again.
We asked, and you responded.
Hey, CSMTV, Channel 98. Just wanted to call in and tell you guys I love what you're doing. I love the changes you guys have made. And I'm really getting hooked on that In Neon program. I don't know where that came from, but that is awesome, and I hope you guys keep up the good work. Thanks a bunch.
We asked, and you responded.
Yeah, I've been watching since it came on, and I would like to say that I like the whole coverage of the basketball. I do think that they do a great job. Thank you.
That's the CSMTV studios at 240-725-5458. Operators are standing by right now, so call now.
Back out to Greg. Greg with the shot and good. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're continuing here with the preview show. Got 2 more segments left. Got this one and hopefully one with Coach Hoyt when he shows up. Sean has assured me that Coach Hoyt will show up, but I want to go over one thing with you before we get into the new guy.
Okay, go.
How are you doing after the Dr. Pepper incident?
You know, I can't talk about it because it's a legal issue right now.
Lawsuit, baby.
That's right.
Wow.
Hey, if a lady can sue over hot coffee, I can sue over ice cold Dr. Pepper on my black suit.
For those of you that don't know, this is a new black suit for Mr. Cook. The old black suit soiled by Dr. Pepper. 23 flavors of cascading coldness all over Sean Cook. Key moment in the game. Hawks are down. They're coming back. They're back in the game, and then bang! Dr. Pepper all over Sean.
Someone threw a Dr. Pepper on me.
And was pushed over the edge. Yeah. Happened to be my Dr. Pepper, and it was, Jenner who pushed the Dr. Pepper on you, but he has no bad feelings. He's going to buy you a hot dog at tonight's game. We're just going to call it even.
Even.
Speaking of things that are even, one of the most even things about this team is the returning guys.
Yeah.
And one of the variables usually on a team like this is new people. You got 2-year, experience level for people that there's a top that they can reach on a team. And so freshmen really, they're either going to fit in and play with the team system or it's going to be an issue. And on this team, they have a bunch of freshmen and a bunch of even sophomores who are coming with that experience who are new. And one of the newest players that they have coming in is Jared Blake. Jared Blake actually from New Jersey. JFK, played at JFK, New Jersey. And this is what he had to say when I talked to him earlier today.
Okay.
All right, so I'm here with Jared Blake. Jared, you're averaging 2-point assists a game. What do you think first, pass or shoot?
Well, honestly, I think shoot first. But being on this team, we have a lot of scorers. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of people with a lot of talent. So as the point guard, I have to think pass first on this team.
And we heard that you guys run like a motion offense. That that's what you're trying to get established out there. Do you think you're better at offense or at defense?
I'm probably better at offense, honestly, because I'm a lot smaller, so I'm a lot quicker. I can basically go anywhere on the court that I want to go. So I'm probably better on offense. On defense, it's a little harder for me to stop people. A lot bigger, stronger. So offense is definitely my thing.
And we were reading on the website you came from JFK in New Jersey. How do you get all the way from JFK out here to CSM? Tell us that story.
Well, I played in a showcase, and I talked to Coach Hoyt over the phone. I told him about myself. He recruited me, checked out my stats. Guess called around about me. We talked. He told me to come on down, and I'm here. I'm happy to be a Hawk too.
So he didn't call like any ex-girlfriends or anything like that. Probably just coaches. Huh?
I'm happy that he just called coaches. If anything, I'm happy that he just called coaches.
It says in the program on the sheet on the website that you're 5'8". Sean and I had a little disagreement. You're a little bit shorter than the ref that was out there, and the ref was 6 feet tall. Do you know your height? Does that bother you at all? Like, do you even know like how tall you are? Or you just try and play as big as you can?
I'm probably about 5'6" in actuality, 5'6", 5'7". My height, it bothers me, but it really doesn't because I have an advantage being that I'm smaller. Like I said, I'm quicker. So it's very hard for players to guard me. You know, I'm agile. It helps a lot. It has its advantages and disadvantages.
Do you think you could take Hoyt one-on-one?
Hoyt? I don't know. He's a pretty good player. He played pretty good ball. He can shoot. And we played a few times in practice. He got the best of me, so he probably win.
He's a pretty big guy too, man. I didn't realize how big he was till we came out here and did some games. And like, you know, I got to stand up on a box just when we do the post-game show because Sean's pretty tall, my co-anchor, and you know he's pretty tall. So I feel like the short guy. So I can't even imagine like you out there with him. Just he's just got to be killing me. What's the worst thing he does in practice, man? What's the worst drill ever?
Oh man, the worst drill ever has to be the slasher drill. It's a drill where he'd stand at one spot on the court, and he would do a number of things where you have to go and dive for the ball. And it gets real ugly. You get burns. It's horrible.
So that would be the one thing that you'd opt out of, like if you ran practice, like if he lets you run practice for a day, you guys aren't doing that.
No slasher drills. No slasher drills.
What would be the one thing that you do more of if you ran practice?
Probably we probably scrimmage a little more. You know, every basketball player wants to get out there and show what they could do, and practice is the place where you do it. So we'll probably scrimmage a little bit more than we do.
Do you have a favorite pro sports team?
Favorite pro sports team is Chicago Bulls. Growing up in the era that I grew up in, you know, the Bulls ran the 90s, so I'm definitely a Bulls fan.
All right, good to hear that. Do you prefer man defense or zone defense when you guys playing within the team concept? I mean, I know Coach Hoyt likes man defense, but do you have a personal preference?
I like man defense myself. It's pretty good. Man defense, it helps you to be more focused on just that player, but at the same time, your team has to be focused on the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of help. It's real good. I like man defense.
And you're the number 25, right? Why 25?
25? I actually wanted number 5, but Saquon Brown, our superstar, got it, so I was stuck with 25.
He actually got here like a day before you, right? He showed up the day before and got the number 5. So why the number 5 then?
Number 5, I wore it all throughout high school. My cousin Essence Carson, she wore it, and she plays in WNBA. She just inspired me growing up, and that's the number I wanted to wear.
You know, and sometimes like in the pros, like if a guy has a guy's number, maybe you can like buy him a vacation or something. Maybe you could get him like, pick up his dinner on a road trip or something, and maybe, he'd slide you the number 5.
I actually threatened him, but he's so big, he just laughed at my threat, so.
Yeah, he's a pretty big dude, man. Have you seen the games on CSMTV yet, like on Channel 98?
Yeah, I actually have. You guys do a real good job. Real hilarious, too.
Oh, you must have just seen the first game then. You must not have seen the games from last year, because the games from last year were struggling at some point, man. Because the Hawks were actually 4-23 last year. So you guys are 5-7 now?
Yeah, we're 5-7 now.
Yeah, so I mean, you can't even imagine how much easier it is to call a win than it is to call a loss. But I'm glad you guys are here, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And one of the most interesting things about Blake is like if you listen to Byron Morgan, he's the huge jokester. But
right.
Watching him in this interview, he's like, yes, and I like to play offense because I'm small. And do you think he's 5'6"?
Well, okay. The joke was whether or not he was 5'8".
Well,
and now all of a sudden he's down to 5'6".
I think maybe the next time we ask him, he'll be 5'5". I mean, maybe
5'4".
Maybe.
He's 5'4".
He's 5'4". He did bring up some good points, though.
He did.
Motion offense.
He likes the motion offense.
He's a big fan of motion offense. And I couldn't believe that he called Coach Hoyt and got himself on the team.
It just shows that whole, okay, I won't call it a complex, but that attitude of, I think I can do it. And I love it. I really do. I love his confidence.
These views are Sean Cook's alone and not shared by CSM, its affiliate organizations, or Joshua Harris, Erik Sprowls, or the division of CSMTV covered by Channel 98, or its affiliates, or Comcast Cable.
Okay. Well, look, he's the little big man, but he's aggressive. He's assertive. He plays like a guy who's at least twice his height.
He's a little big man.
Hey, and he's playing great basketball, and I for one appreciate the hard work.
What else did you like about his interview? What else did you think was good?
Well, I think that
I mean, I want the compliments. It was a good interview. I thought I did well. What about the drill he doesn't like?
The diving drill, right?
Man.
Ouch.
And you
taking a charge doesn't hurt, though.
Taking a charge doesn't hurt, but laying out on that floor, that parquet floor of the great Boston Garden / CSM Nest.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what that floor is made of. I don't know how they keep it shiny like that, but that thing is shiny, and it looks like it doesn't give for just about anything.
Yeah, the word rug burn or floor burn kind of comes to mind, right? So, yeah, but you know what? He's a little close to the ground, so it probably doesn't hurt as much.
Wow.
Good for me.
Speaking out of turn now, Mr. Cook. Speaking out of turn, and it was interesting to me that he said that he wanted number 5, but Saquon Brown, bigger than him, he threatened Saquon Brown. Saquon Brown laughs at him. Much like the same way that, you laugh when Coach Hoyt threatens you, or I laugh when you tell me you can play me one-on-one. All these things bring laughter. But he prefers number 5. He has a relative who wears number 5 who plays in the WNBA, so that's why he was looking at number 5 when he first got here.
So making it big.
Making it
big is in this guy. It's in him. He wants to, Hey, you know what?
Sean,
I heard a saying. No, listen. You know what a big shot is?
What?
A little shot that kept shooting. Takes a lot of little shots to be a big shot.
I can't give you his email address over the air, but if you'd like, his home phone number or anything else, just come to me, buddy. I'll take care of it for you, Jared. I'm terribly sorry about this. He just got Comcast cable, so
he did.
Yeah, so
he's going to keep it. Hey, I'm going to plug this player. He's a great player.
He is a great player,
and it's already in his family to win.
He was our MVP. He was our MVP of our co-MVP of the last game.
He co-MVP.
And another guy that did a great job in the last game we did was Brandon Jarman. I had a chance to sit down or stand up because Erik Sprowls won't let anybody sit down and do an interview. The only thing you can sit down for is a halftime show. And Brandon Jarman, number 13 in your program, number 1 in your heart. And this is what he had to say earlier today. All right, Brandon, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And my first question for you is, you're a sophomore, so how did you come to be with the Hawks? Where did you play last year, and what was the process of getting with the Hawks this year?
Well, I played with Chesapeake Community College 2 years ago. Actually, I wasn't playing basketball last year, but Coach Hoyt gave me the opportunity to come here and play for the CSM Hawks, and taking advantage of my opportunity right now.
And speaking of opportunities, when you come down the court, are you thinking pass first or shoot first?
Well, we have to get our teammates involved, so pass first is always the first option. And we like to move the ball, have a motion offense, spread the court, so it allows us the opportunity to take advantage of our athleticism.
Now, you guys run the motion offense. With that, do you feel like you're better at offense or you're better at defense?
Well, I honestly feel I'm better at defense because you can have a bad day shooting the ball offense, but defense, that's pride. You make sure your man doesn't score and help defense, make sure your team doesn't get scored on. So defense is definitely my main focus.
I mean, especially in this, this is the Hawks' nest. This is you guys' house and everything else. You can't just have people coming in here and just scoring on you, right?
Of course.
All right, why the number 13?
Well, I was born on September 13th, so that's kind of my favorite number right now, my lucky number. So I actually born on Friday the 13th, but
Oh, so you decided you come to a team whose colors were black and gold and just jump in the whole hex thing and just don't even play with it. When Coach Hoyt runs practice, what's the absolute worst drill? Like, what's the one that you just hate?
The closeout drill, man. He makes us run to the 5 different spots on the floor, and it's a full court drill, and you run with your hands up in there. I hate that drill.
So if you could run practice for one day, what would you change?
The closeout drill, I get rid of it. Now, more scrimmage time, probably. More scrimmage time, yeah.
So no, Coach Hoyt, no closeout drill. It's good because he has DirecTV, so he's not seeing any of these games at all. So there's no big worry. Give the fans, the basketball fan that's sitting at home right now watching this interview, give them one reason to come out and watch you guys play.
Because we're really good. I mean, that's the first thing I can say. We're really good. We'll put on the show for everybody. We'll come out. We're going to put some points up on the board. We're going to play good defense, and you'll get a real good game. Watch basketball the way it's supposed to be played.
And the concession stand's good too. I mean, you guys don't get to go to the concession stand, but we just raid that thing like every game. And if the game goes a little slow, we're like, who's running the concession stand? Sometimes I send Sean, sometimes I go myself. But if you didn't play basketball right now, what sport would you be trying to play, or what sport would you be playing?
Probably baseball. I played first base in high school, so a little bit of an athlete.
Oh yeah, you're any good?
Yeah, I'm okay. Batting average need to come up a little bit, but I'm okay.
So which is higher, the shooting percentage or the batting average?
I have to go with the shooting percentage. That's why I'm out here. And you're kind of tall to be a baseball player. How tall are you? 6'3".
All right, and I mean, one last question. And I mean, I have to ask this. You know, I feel bad not asking this. Do you have a Coach Hoyt impression? I mean, is there an impression that, you know, like something he always says, or, you know, you guys are on road trips and you want to jump out in front of the bus that way, or you just want to kind of pass?
I'll fall back on that one. I might have a Coach Bowie impression, but I had to censor that one out. So now I don't have any impressions right now.
Oh wow, got a Coach Bowie impression, but not a Coach Hoyt impression. All right, Coach Hoyt, you live to die another day. And that's what Brandon had to say about that.
Well, I tell you what, all these players, the message is consistent. I will say that they love defense. But I happen to watch this guy work out, and I think he likes to shoot.
Well, he does like to shoot, and he did say that, but he also takes great pride in just stopping a guy.
Right.
I mean, and I said especially at home, and he said, yeah, especially at home. I mean, it's like if I came to your house and took stuff out of your refrigerator, you wouldn't stand for that.
Right.
I mean, that's what your son does, but I mean, you wouldn't stand for that.
Yeah.
It would
Sore subject.
Sore subject. As we move on, one of the other things was, you know, why number 13, born on Friday the 13th. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of superstitious.
I got to tell you, Friday the 13th are always awesome days for me.
Another thing that wasn't awesome. A thing that wasn't awesome for Brandon Jarman was, you know, doing the and I'm going to do this just because I know you love it. Doing the drill like this, with the hands up. Hold on.
The closeout. It's called a closeout.
The closeout drill with the hands up like this.
Right.
And then, you know, running down the court, and then you go back to the line, and you run down the court.
Right.
My mom's loving watching this by now. She told me to be professional. So
those drills are all about, you know, and this team had some problems last year closing out on shooters that are out at the three-point line wide open, and they got to get out to them quickly. And so Coach Hoyt has responded to that, and he's putting in a team that likes to play defense. And if you do enough defensive drills, I guess you will start liking it, huh?
Yeah, but most of the guys, you know, calling for more scrimmages. You know, they want more scrimmages. You know, I guess what they're looking for is 3-on-3s or, you know, 5-on-5s on you know, during their practice. I mean, I imagine that takes a lot of time in practice.
You know, basketball players are basketball players. They just want to play. They don't want to necessarily learn the game. But Coach Hoyt is taking the time to teach them, and they want to play more. You know, it's like we want to play. But you got to learn the game. You got to learn what to do in certain situations.
Yep.
And I think his approach is right. You know, he's teaching them team defense, and then let the individual talents rise to the top, and they'll carry us over. We can just play some great D.
And speaking of what to do in current situations, what you all should do is on Sunday from 6 to 8, you should watch us. Then we're back on a Tuesday from 6 to 8, Wednesday 8 to 10, and Thursday 6 to 8. I mean, that's in Charles County. And then if you're like me, and you just stay up forever, and you don't ever go, like, I know you sleep, but I don't have that problem. I got 3 kids, you got 3 kids, but mine are younger. 2 to 4 on Fridays. Who isn't looking for something to do at 2 o'clock on Friday morning?
Much better than, you know, 2 to 4 a.m.?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Wow.
2 to 4 all night long. We show things. Usually it's just Monster. You know, the Monster that, you know, this is Gravely and Griselda. But no, Friday is our night. Okay, so next
Hawks basketball.
So Friday when you can't sleep, you know, don't just go to bed and you know, or have an adult beverage, or, you know, take like Erik Sprowls and take sleeping medication. That's not slanderous. That's true. It just, you know, turn on the TV Friday. You know, Sunday 6 to 8, Tuesday 6 to 8, Wednesday 8 to 10, and Thursday 6 to 8. And if you don't use those times, you might find yourself watching a women's game.
And what's wrong with that?
I don't know. What we're going to do right now is send you to commercial break, and when we come back, we will have live and in person on tape either Coach Alan Hoyt or Assistant Coach Tim Bowie, or maybe even both. We're going to flip a coin and see what happens after this.
Giddy up.
CSM Channel 98. Giddy up, the home of the Hawks.
I was throwing rocks at some stuff, and next thing I know, locust.
Sounds like bad karma. You should try volunteering or something good.
Stay on the universe's good side. Volunteer, vote, get involved.
We asked, and you responded.
Yes, I was calling in about the movie, The Middle Toe of Her Right Foot. I thought it was an excellent job. I thought the movie was well done. I thought the acting was fantastic. I just want to commend all of you and say that was a great job. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
We asked, and you responded.
So I'm sitting there watching. I'm watching CSMTV. I'm watching that midnight Monster Hop, and it's a nice throwback to some days gone by. I remember growing up watching monster movies every Saturday night with my folks, we'd gather around the TV and make popcorn and watch some of these old monster movies that now I'm seeing here on the TV station, and how you guys put that together with Gravely and Griselda and Castle Blood. Is that a real place? That's pretty interesting. Keep up the good work. I like the changes that are being made, and it's about time.
That's the CSMTV studios at 240-725-5458. Operators are standing by right now, so call now.
Back out to Greg. Greg with the shot, and good! All right, and welcome back to the preview show. One of these things is not like the other. He's not only not wearing a black suit and a gold tie. He'll do that later on during the game. But joining us now, Coach, is it Coach Alan Hoyt?
Alan Hoyt, that's right.
Okay. All right, I didn't know. Him and Tim look almost exactly the same. The only difference is one of them has a gaseous problem, not this guy. Coach Hoyt, I'd like to apologize in advance for Sean's question, but Sean, begin.
My questions? Well, no. Coach Hoyt, I talked really great today. I thought that when we talked about the team last year, you kind of inherited most of what you got as a team. This year, you came in, you're able to establish your own mentality, and you can tell that there's a huge difference. You got a nice-sized bench, a great crop or group of players. But now we're trying to get that signature, right? You know, for the 49ers years ago, it was the great offense. For the Colts, it's great offense. For the Ravens, it's great defense. What's the signature? What's the signature of this CSM team? What do you want your mark to be?
Just great balance. Just like I said, the Chargers and the Colts, they loved a lot of offense. But I mean, even now these days, their defense is starting to improve, so they can get that good balance. I'd love to be able to push the ball every time up down the floor. But again, we still got to get stops on defense. So a good balance of both.
Okay.
A lot of the guys talked about motion offense and the fact that, I don't know if it's a macho thing, but they actually prefer man-to-man defense. Those are your two signatures, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, man-to-man, it makes us have to play defense. In zone, you find people get lazy and get tired, think about they got to be in this one spot.
That's a good point.
And motion, it's hard to scout motion because everything is different. You pass the ball, you might screen away, you might cut through, and it just makes it harder on the other teams.
Let's talk about game strategy a bit, right? You guys are coming in, and you started off this year a lot better. You've already got more wins than all of last year, right? So that's one pony out of the way, right? And so how do you approach game strategy? Is it, you got Coach Tim. Are you guys both looking kind of tag teaming it, or are you focused on specific things and he's focused on other things?
Well, between the coaches and Coach Hawkins as well, if we get a chance, we'll go out and scout them for this year. If we can't do that, then we'll watch tape from last year. And there's some teams that we have nothing on, like Patrick Henry earlier in the year, Roanoke. I mean, we've never heard of these teams. So we just got to pretty much go in there. But it's a tag team. We all just work together to get it done.
Oh, and believe me, we know about knowing nothing about the opposition. We've come to games before, and Tim Murphy has been like, here, we'd like to give you this blank sheet of paper on the other team. So I mean, and you worked with Tim before, so you understand exactly what it's like. Well, what are the stats from the other team, Tim? Well, they shoot the ball. Oh, thanks, Tim. How very interesting.
All right, so we talked a little about strategy. Now we'll talk about your preparation, your strategy, recruiting, right?
Yeah.
This year you got a pretty good size recruiting class. How many players now?
About 14.
Okay, so you got 14 players. When you talk about recruiting, and you're getting players that are middle of the road players, kind of either just this side of D2 or close to maybe making a D1 team someday, or just this side of JUCO, really just getting on this side, just out of high school, maybe haven't played that much. How do you get the cream to rise to the top?
It's tough. JUCO, you're really trying to find the guys who fall through the cracks. Guys, who maybe didn't play as much as they should have, that maybe playing behind a Division I guy doesn't get the time.
Right.
Guys that you just see there's something good in them. They don't get the chance. Guys who struggle with grades. Grades aren't for everybody.
Right.
Now we're trying to find the guys who can change it and get it together.
Right.
And we've had some of those guys this year.
Okay.
So I mean it's tough, but we look at SMAC first, and then we just try to branch out from there into PG, into Howard. But again, our first year recruiting, I think we did a good job.
Yeah, you guys have done definitely a great job, and we can see the difference. Let me ask you this in terms
Hold on
of
a second, Sean. Did Jared Blake actually call himself onto the team? Was he at an exhibition and he called you and got himself on the team?
It wasn't a call. I mean, I get emails and questionnaires from kids, really, from Maine all the way to Kentucky, all over the place. And, I mean, some are for real, and most of them aren't. But Jared was for real. I mean, he sat out last year, and he's down here now, and he's doing a good job. He keeps working hard. But yeah.
How tall do you think he actually is? Because in the program it says 5'8". He claims 5'6". Sean says if he's 5'6", Sean
5'6".
He claims he says 5'6".
You don't see that too often. People claiming down like that. But
5'4". I think 5'4".
I'll have to look at his physical paper. I was just being nice. I guess he was 5'8".
Well, we had a big one on the show about that. About when he said 5'8", I was like, "Oh man, no way!" You know.
No, Coach. Sean actually said if he's 5'8", I'm 7'6". That was actually his quote. He called himself Sean Bradley. If he said.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what though, in terms of he exemplifies what this team is about this year, which is your theme. You guys are wearing shirts now that say it. Sacrifice. Tell us about that. What does that mean?
Well, I mean that's the biggest goal. I brought in a ton of talented players. You know, we don't really have like the middle of the guys who are like glue guys who just go out there and work hard. Don't have the most talent. We got talented guys, and the biggest thing for this team is sacrificing that. You know, we got guys, about probably 6 or 7 guys that have scored 15 or more points in the game this year. And now can we just all do it together? Can we sacrifice, a forced shot for a better shot? And that's what it's all about, just sacrificing, the outside stuff, going to parties late at night instead of getting up early, going to class, and being in the weight room and being to practice on time. And it's just, if we can sacrifice that, we'll be in good shape.
Well, it's clear that mentality exists, and you'll see it in the interviews that we did earlier with some of the players, and even as we were here working out today, preparing for this segment, Brandon Jarman is on the court taking shots. He spent a good hour out there shooting around by himself.
That's what we tell the women announcers. We tell them, you guys have to sacrifice. You can't just show up and hope that this just goes on the air. And that, that's evident, I believe, in their performance, reflective in our, and it's reflective in our performance. I mean, we're the 2 all-stars of this announcing team. I mean, I don't want toot my. Well, actually, I do. I want to toot my own horn.
Well, that's what
we do. A great job, Coach. We got a couple more minutes left in the show.
I got one more question, and I really, we're in a recession, right? And so we want to plug the show. We want to plug help you to reduce some recruiting. What do you say to that 6'7", 225 stealth runner who can play some defense, who's looking for a good school to play some ball? Talk to him, Coach. Tell him.
We're a team on the rise, and I mean, as soon as we find that one guy, we'll be right up there with everybody else.
All right. Well,
I had 2 more questions for you because we only have like 2 more minutes.
Okay, go for it.
Because you've talked a lot. Imagine that. Coach, you got a favorite pro team?
I still stick with the Wizards. I mean, we're going through a rough time right now, but I'm not going to leave them.
Well, I bet they're happy about that, Coach. Wow. The Wizards. All right. And this is 2008 that the show was recorded. So if it gets played back later and the Wizards have won a championship, he didn't predict the future.
No.
He doesn't have that problem.
Good or bad, I'll stay with him.
All right.
Good or bad.
Well, thanks, Coach. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. Hopefully we can get your assistant in here, Coach Tim, to talk to us a bit. You think?
Actually, Sean, we're out of time. What we're going to do right now is send you guys to the last commercial break, and when we come back, hopefully there'll be one of our games on because, heaven forbid you have to sit through a women's game. But this is going to wrap it up for us on CSM Channel 98. And like I always say, if you got email, fan mail, go ahead and send it to Coach Hoyt because he has an email address. They don't give us one of those yet at the College of Southern Maryland. And that's it's big letters, capital letters, Coach Hoyt at csm.edu. Or, you could just go on the website. But for anything that you guys need or anything else, just, email Sprowls at csmd.edu. Even if you just have a question about life, perhaps you're lost and you need a direction, Sprowls at csm.edu. Remember, bit by a spider, and, do you have one last thing, if you got a quick answer, what would you recommend for, like, a torn Achilles? Like, what, as far as rehab-wise?
I'm not the trainer, I don't know.
He's not a trainer.
Not the trainer. See? Focus.
I'm going to dunk again. I will dunk again.
He wants to take you one-on-one. Can we work that out right after this? Outstanding. We're going to go watch Sean get beat by Coach Hoyt one-on-one here on CSM Channel TV 98, the home of the Hawks.
What do all these successful people have in common besides the fact that they love their jobs and are advancing in their careers? They got their start at the College of Southern Maryland, and you can too. Choose from a wide variety of associate's degree programs and get a 2-year head start on your career, or easily transfer your credits to earn a bachelor's degree. Whatever helps you achieve your career goals, the College of Southern Maryland can work for you too. Call 301-934-7765 or visit www.csmd.edu.